hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Laitram.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson.
Women are often throwing clothing items at me saying you're the possessor of the cool factor. I have to fight off the ladies.
90 minutes of fun every weekday afternoon on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333 from 4 p.m. to 5:30.
I'm telling you, I think somebody used AI. I've never said cool factor in my life. Maybe running off the ladies, I might have said something silly like that, but not the cool factor thing. But it does exist. Corey Johnson back at you. Wide open Wednesday. A wet and rainy wide open Wednesday. Be careful out there. Our Humane May fundraiser going on. HumaneLA.org. Come on. We got a lot of movement. A lot of movement in the last, 24 hours. Seriously. We were like 7,000 down. We had raised about $3,000 during yesterday's program. That's where we were. Like 4 weeks, $3,000 raised of 10,000. I was nervous. Never that far behind. In the last 24 hours, we've raised about $2,400. We went from 3,000 raised to about 5,400 raised. So we went from 7,000 down to about 4,600 down. All of a sudden, almost manageable. Maybe we can make it, but we've got to keep going. The sense of urgency can't be let off. Some of you folks are like, I'm going to donate this year. Do it. Don't wait till the 31st. The 31st is Saturday. That's the final day. I'll be off the air by Friday at 6:00. So there won't really be a lot of push that final day on Saturday to raise the funds. Now, they're having a big party all day long, lots of goodies and giveaways for, pet owners, and they want you to donate stuff for pet owners at their West Bank facility in Gretna. I'm going to pop in over there on Saturday, and hopefully we'll be, going over the top of $10,000 raised for animals, cats and dogs, kittens and puppies, stopping them from suffering. Emaciated horses, getting 40 dogs out of one double wide trailer in some rural parish, and they all have heartworms. Some of them have injuries. They need to be rehabbed. They need to be put into foster homes. Then they can be adopted out. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of money. The vet bills, all of it. And the vets are working for 10, 20, 30 cents on the dollar. And it's still expensive vet bills because it's so many animals. Humane Society of Louisiana. Check them out on Facebook. They've got lots of photos and lots of, info under the photo of what that photo's all about. You go do that. You'll donate because they do great stuff. HumaneLA.org is the website to donate. This Saturday is May 31st. We got 2 more days, basically, 3 more days in our Humane May fundraiser to hit $10,000. And we're 4,600 short right now. 4,600 short, about 72 hours left. Let's get it done. HumaneLA.org to donate. At the top of the page, you'll see me laying there with Blue Boy on the sofa. Click on that and donate generously. Jailbreak day 13. The jail's flooding, and it's not because of the rain. The plumbing problem from the weekend is still going on at the jail. The jail's plumbing problems continue. Parts of the jail are literally flooding. This building's 10 years old. I mean, this just yells Susan Hudson, what I've been saying for such a long time. We don't have time in a major city with a major crime problem to have a sheriff that's learning on the fly, learning on the job. We don't have time for like woke, hyper left or hyper right, if that would be the case. Experiments with the jail, social experiments. We need proven leadership, experienced proven leadership. There has to be a bar set of where this needs to be in the bar. That goal needs to be hit. Can't have escapes, can't have a flooding jail, not from a building that's state of the art and about 10 years old. Jailbreak, day 13. 2 idiots, 2 criminals still at large, Derek Groves and Antoine Massey. 8 of the 10 captured. Over a dozen, it's like 14 or 15 now that have assisted on the outside. A handful inside the jail. When all this is said and done, it's going to be like 30 arrested. Like the 10 idiots rearrested, the criminals that escaped, those 10. They already got 8 of the 10, and it's going to be like 20 plus morons on the outside. And I said this yesterday exactly like that, morons. That's kind of the easy way out. Someone that really realistically looks at this and evaluates it, because I'm not a, extreme left, extreme right, just throw sizzling bacon on a plate and say those kind of things. Sizzling bacon. I have to deal with facts and information. And there's lots of women involved here, like mothers and grandmothers, even like these scumbag criminals luring the women into like, help me out. I mean, knowing the mom, knowing the grandmother can't say no to their kid or their grandkid. It's pathetic on the criminal's part, more so than the mom helping or the grandmother helping. And we don't know, and I'm sure we'll find out, some of these jerks that have been rearrested, a mom or grandmother may have given the tips to the police to get them arrested. So they're really in a bind, and it sucks that the criminals would bring in those family members. But, we're talking about scumbag criminals that don't understand repercussions, that are selfish, don't care about anyone but themselves, blah, 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 blah. Wide Open Wednesday edition of the program. Here's the star of the program, the one, the only, the champion of the world. It's Blue Boy. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be on the program. Corey, you're my best friend. Blue Boy, you're my best friend. Quit talking. Can you blow off the 5 o'clock hour? Let's go get some steak and blow off the kibble tonight. No, I'm doing the 5 o'clock power hour, Blue Boy. Sorry. And yes, you're eating kibble in a little while, but we'll go for a walk, buddy. 5 o'clock power hour is next. That is world famous Blue Boy.
On the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Yeah, you right. Wide Open Wednesday, 5 o'clock power hour to boot. Corey Johnson with you. Hey, the 5 o'clock power hour on this Wide Open Wednesday brought to you by Helm Paint and Decorating. Because paint ain't paint. Best paint in the world, best paint on the planet. Benjamin Moore. Helm Paint and Decorating. Yeah, you can Google this. A gallon of Benjamin Moore paint covers more square feet than the competition. Put Benjamin Moore paint up against any paint you're going to use, gallon for gallon. You cover more square footage with Benjamin Moore. Helm Paint and Decorating in New Orleans. Helm Paint and Decorating in Baton Rouge. Do it once, do it right. They'll steer you in the right direction. You know who, Helm Paint and Decorating. 5 o'clock power hour. On this wide open Wednesday, brought to you by Helm Paint and Decorating, our Humane May fundraiser continues. HumaneLA.org is the website. HumaneLA.org is the website. Please go to it and donate. Let's save some animals. We raised $2,400 in the last 24 hours. Fantastic. We do that the next 3 days. We hit our goal by Saturday. We were $7,000 down yesterday. We've cut that to $4,600. We're at $3,000 raised yesterday. Terrible. Now we're at $5,400. We're more than halfway through. But we need your help. We still have to raise $4,600 by Saturday. Think about that. In 4 weeks, we've raised $5,400. In 4 weeks, $5,400. In 3 days, we have to raise another $4,600, almost as much as we've raised. So we're 54% of the way home, 46% to go. Please donate right now. Let's save some animals. HumaneLA.org. That's what's so cool about this. The goal's $10,000. Last couple of years, we raised over $12,000. Every extra dollar, every extra $10, every extra $20 saves an animal, helps an animal that's suffering. That's just a fact. HumaneLA.org. Wide open Wednesday, 5 o'clock power hour. Rainy wide open Wednesday. Be careful out there. The roads are slick. Jailbreak day 13. 2 still at large. Over a dozen arrested that are family members, friends of the escapees that assisted. 14 accused of assisting the escapees. That's the count right now. Plus about 2 or 3 that were arrested that worked at the jail. That's 17. The 8 that have already been arrested, you're at 25. The 2 other idiots will be arrested soon. That's 27. There'll be more arrests. They'll be exceeding 30 people arrested. Now, when all this is said and done, there's talk of cost of the city of New Orleans, $250,000 a week right now. And then all these idiots that are going to be arrested, booking them, processing them, putting them in jail, taxpayer money being spent. They're all costing us money. No, it's a nightmare. And the idiots that escape that are going to be going away for the rest of their life, trying to do the math again real quick. I know it's $30,000 a year roughly, so that's $90,000 for 3 years. That's $900,000 for every 30 years. So yeah, that's roughly what it is. It's like every 25, 30 years a person's incarcerated costs taxpayers $1 million. So every one of these criminals, every 25, 30 years, that's $1 million in taxpayer money being spent. No, crime doesn't pay for the taxpayers. It's a nightmare. No, this jailbreak is just, besides the incompetence, never should happen, all that, it's costly as hell. Because it's not only the 10 idiots you're rearresting, it's all these accessories. It's multiple crimes now. It's not just the 10 jailbreak criminals, which is the beginning of the crimes. Then it's all these people on the outside and on the inside that are adding to it. Hey, if you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed Ryan Randall, St. Bernard Parish Councilman. And I think we had a problem with our YouTube audio in that hour, didn't we, Mario? Why don't you just can you delete that?
I got you.
Yeah, just because we're going to sit there and.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
looked like a lot of people were really into it.
You had 14 people that were watching me mouth. I mean, maybe they can read lips. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know what they got out of Ryan Randall because he wasn't in studio. It was over the phone. So that sucks.
Yeah.
But if you watched on TV or on radio, listened on radio, you heard Ryan Randall, Councilman St. Bernard Parish, talking about the international terminal. And he said it's like 90% against, 10% for it. Hard to find people that are for it. But I countered with, for a year plus, it's Sidney Torres III and a bunch of bigwigs bashing this terminal. Any conversation they can have at every coffee shop, every restaurant, it sucks. Be against it, be against it, be against it. I even told Ryan, I was like, man, St. Bernard residents should be falling down on the ground, thanking the Lord this is coming. Literally. An outside entity happens to be the Port of New Orleans, could be any entity. They're going to invest $2 billion with a B in the parish, employ thousands during construction, hundreds after the fact, hundreds of indirect jobs. The parish finally gets a $1 billion with a B, $1 billion roadway, a causeway type elevated expressway from Violet to the I-510 to the 40 Arpit Canal. So even during a storm, if the parish were flooding, you could get out. Right now, St. Bernard Highway, Judge Perez, Paris Road, they go under. Sinful that St. Bernard doesn't have serious elevated emergency evacuation routes that can be used the other 999 days out of 1,000 where it's not a hurricane evacuation. No, you parlay these things, you know. Ryan Randall was talking about a school that the port has to buy, and you can't. The school can't be sold; it would have to be surplus. Then they could choose to sell it all. The port builds a new school down the street, state of the art, and when they cut the ribbon on that, they turn over the old school to the port and they tear it down. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. These are easily, surmountable. They're easy problems to overcome. No, if I'm St. Bernard residents, I embrace the port facility, but I make sure I get some things out of it, like the $1 billion road. Hey, Port of New Orleans, I want the ribbon cut on that road at worst a day before the port facility opens. We're not going to have any of this airport thing, Louis Armstrong International New Terminal, and the access road didn't come for 5 years. You're not opening this port and having trucks on St. Bernard Highway, so you better have the road open first. Great. Port agreement, St. Bernard agreement. Ever want to expand? We want a Florida Avenue Expressway. Just work this out. It's jobs. It's bigger than St. Bernard. It's about Metro New Orleans and the state. It's about competing. It's about having pride. Container terminal at Napoleon. Mobile, Alabama does more containers than New Orleans. That's sinful. No, St. Bernard folks need to be, informed on what's going on fairly on both sides, not just the Sidney Torres, the third lawyer down there, the old school guy, and a bunch of his, bigwig loudmouths at every coffee shop restaurant. Rocky and Carlos against the port, against the port, against the port, No wonder that's going to be the mentality. But if you had people that were St. Bernard residents, that were bigwigs, that were for it, and explaining why, maybe that turns the tide the other way. Why would you expect anyone to be for it? All it's been is negative talk for a year plus. No, I'm St. Bernard Parish. I embrace the port, but with caveats. Build the roadway first, then the port opens. You want to expand it? Great. Build the Florida Avenue Expressway. You want to do this? Great. Build the school first, then you can have the school and tear it down. It's pretty easy. Embrace it. Wide Open Wednesday. Corey Johnson with you. The Michoud exit, illegal dumping, those tires cleared again. Will it remain clear? We'll talk about that when we come back. Maybe 3 months. That's what they're talking about, Carrollton at I-10 with this garbage truck. Maybe 3 months. That can't happen. Thomas Morstead hooking up with the Niners. Yeah, you're right. Beloved Saint former punter. Most recently with the Jets, and a good dude.
Yeah, I was holding out hope we'd pick him back up.
Yeah, I was too. Saints should have picked him up. Fan favorite, 39 years old, great for the locker room.
Yes.
It's going to a winning organization. Gets to go to the Bay Area for the next 6-8 months. What a great way to end one's career. Guy might be a Hall of Famer. Such a class act.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance. payments. Total maintenance, keep you cool. TM-JC.com, no blue spots.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com. Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City. As New Orleans as coffee in the morning and as New Orleans as coffee in the morning and raw oysters for lunch. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
Yeah, you right. Wide Open Wednesday. Humane May fundraiser continues. Please donate. 3 days left. Got about $4,600 to go. HumaneLA.org is the website. HumaneLA.org. A rainy Wednesday afternoon. Be careful out there. Jailbreak day 13. Can you believe the jail still has a plumbing problem from this past weekend and like parts of the jail are flooding? I mean, Susan Hudson, it just reeks of incompetence, reeks of amateur hour, reeks of flying by the seat of her pants. Just Terrible. And coupled with like setting up friends and family, this is just New Orleans politics at its worst. The only thing that Susan Hudson needs to do is to complete the trifecta, of incompetence, setting up friends and family, is to just embezzle some money or something, get indicted. My God, it's ridiculous. How can this sheriff ever think of getting back in that race and running again for sheriff? And the flooding, it's going to be like the original jailbreak. Other people were involved. The faulty locks that I've been complaining about. This is happening during election year. My election opponents are involved. I mean, all that insinuation and projection and displacement and pushing the blame somewhere else was pathetic. So the flooding's going to be on antiquated pipes and bad system like the locks. I've been complaining for years. This jail opened in 2016. It's 9 years old. It's not some ancient jail with rusting pipes, lead pipes, and problems. No, the problem is Sheriff Susan Hudson never was qualified for the job. And the worst part, coming in with extreme political views, this hyper woke, like liberal experiment. They're not prisoners. They're, residents, just all this crap. No, they're a bunch of violent criminals. It's a jail, not a country club, not a fun house. Pee-wee's Fun House. 766-9480. Mario, I still think I've got some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. Who did someone get I think someone answered one yesterday. What was a yesterday question that I threw out that wasn't from Monday? Number one tourist attraction in New Orleans. Looking for that. And I'm looking for the number two tourist attraction in New Orleans. Give me the answer to either one of those, and I've got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Next month, Father's Day. 766-9480 is how you participate. Number one tourist attraction in New Orleans, 766-9480. Number two tourist attraction in New Orleans, 766-9480. You got the answer. You're heading to the Woodhouse. Hey, Audubon Gutters taking care of me on a rainy day like this. Back in October, Drew and his crew, nearly 35 years installing gutters. That's all they do are gutters. They don't do paint, roof, siding, windows, just gutters. No construction, just gutters. No, Drew and his crew slapped gutters on my house back in October. And these gutters featured the Leaf Guard system. So I'll never have to pay someone to get on a ladder to clean out my gutters ever again. And boy, just handling rain like today like a champ. Audubon Gutters. Why would you consider going with anyone else for your home or business? The Gulf South's largest, most experienced gutter installation company, AudubonGutters.com. Doing me right, they'll do you right. I didn't get any special treatment. They'll take care of you like they took care of me. AudubonGutters.com. The Michoud exit, illegal dumping area, lots of tires. I've had Oliver Thomas on the program. He says trucks come from like Alabama and Tennessee. So you can imagine some like double basket, like those sugar cane baskets, double basket 18-wheeler, all the tires in the basket tied down, and they're coming from Tennessee because they're like, man, to dispose of these tires at whatever it is in Tennessee or Alabama, $4 a tire, $5 a tire, whatever it is. This amount of tires, it's going to cost us $1,600. We can drive down to New Orleans, that Michoud exit everyone talks about, and dump them there illegally. And the amount of diesel we spend is only $600. So we save $1,000. That's what's going on, according to Oliver Thomas, that 18-wheelers full of tires are coming in from out of state, knowing they can dump those tires at Michoud Boulevard. I think the majority is local, but once again, that area has been cleared. Here's a little suggestion from the talk radio television guy. It's called a GoPro camera. It's called a solar panel. It's called a battery pack. It's called Wi-Fi. You could have live streaming of that site 24/7 with some GoPro camera for like under $1,000, $1,500. You could have 2 or 3 GoPros, triangulation of fire covering the entire area, infrared, 24/7. You want to throw in a few hundred extra bucks? It'd be like a few hundred extra. Some motion detectors in the area. And you could set the motion detectors to not for cars, but like trucks, bigger loads, denser loads. Anyway, it's just such an easy solution. I'm assuming they've cleaned the site and tires will be coming into that site probably today, tomorrow. It'll fill back up. They'll clean it again. It'll fill back up. It'll clean it again. They'll talk about prosecuting. I mean, the law should be simple. Illegal dump, specific too. Illegal dumping of tires. Not only is the person arrested and jailed, the vehicle is seized. Let that moron, the tire dumper, have to sue the city and deal with the city trying to get his truck back. Seize the vehicle. The word spreads of that. Tire dumping in New Orleans ceases to exist. It ends. Some strict enforcement and it ends. It's over with. Anyway, they've cleaned up that entire area again. Thousands of tires gone. I'm assuming that was this morning. It was cleared by lunch. I'm assuming there are already tires being dumped there as I speak at 5:30, almost 5:30. They're saying maybe 3 months for the garbage truck to be removed. Well, less than that for it to be removed, but 3 months to reopen the Carrollton I-10 West entrance ramp and the airline I-10 westbound airline exit overpass. Could be 3 months before those two are open. That is absolutely insane. Crazy. First off, the Carrollton I-10 westbound entrance ramp could be open right now with just a simple emergency vehicle with its flashers on parked in front of the dump truck and some cones having people go to the right side. And they could go to I-10 or get off at airline right now. You want to close airline down because you're worried about that bridge, the exit. And I'm talking about the getting over by Carrollton. I hear you. You don't have to have that open. But the chute going to I-10 West should be open right now. Even with the garbage truck there, it could be open. And then there should be someone. I mean, go get Ruby on shoring for crying out loud. Get somebody to shore up the airline overpass, this exit off of I-10 westbound. So I understand the worry. The garbage truck fell over and it fell into one of the supports of the airline overpass exit and it bent it. So you remove the truck, maybe the whole thing collapses. I doubt it does. It's like a Tinker Toy thing and it's got a lot of overbuilt engineering in this thing because it was from the 60s. They didn't know how to build it with, less strength, more efficiently. But why risk it? I'm with the state. You got to bring in some kind of steel girder or something that can support that bridge and permanently, that girder's not going to get rebent back out. It's always going to be bent. It'll always be bent. So you're either building something around it and removing it, or you're building something that supersedes it and it doesn't matter anymore and you don't even have to remove it. But 3 months until this is done is insane, is crazy. Was that hurricane hit Sanibel Island, knocked out the bridge south of Tampa on the Gulf, Sanibel Island 5 years ago. That bridge was rebuilt in a month or so. Just crazy. Can't have I-10 at Carrollton, one of the busiest intersections in the metro. A big cluster, you know what. No, I posted a video on my Twitter at Corey Johnson today from there. Crazy. Hey, I mentioned it a few minutes ago. It's a great news because he's a class act, married, 5 kids. New Orleans is his home. Go to his Twitter. It says New Orleanian. You got to love it. Thomas Morstead, like 39 years old. He got cut by the Jets. The 49ers have re-signed him. I mean, I'm just like, San Francisco is one of the greatest cities in the world. This guy gets to end his career in San Francisco. And his family, they get to go enjoy the Bay Area for 6-8 months. You know, he's signed now. So, boy, it's May. It's more than that. It'll be like 9 months till early next year. And then come back and retire in New Orleans? As good as it gets. Congratulations to Thomas Morstead. What a great guy.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
As New Orleans as the mighty Mississippi, Corey Johnson.
The old miss, the old man.
On 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM.
Deep River, my home is over Jordan.
Yikes. Corey Johnson back at you. Wide Open Wednesday. Number one tourist attraction in New Orleans, 766-9480. You got the answer? I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. The city's premier day spa. 766-9480 is how you access the program. 766-9480. I've got a second $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate to give away. Another trivia question. What's the number 2 tourist attraction in New Orleans? 766-9480. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Our Humane May fundraiser continues. We're at $5,400. We're $4,600 short of hitting our goal. It all ends Saturday. So in 4 weeks, we raised $5,400. We got 3 days to raise almost the same amount, $4,600. $5,400 raised so far, $4,600 to go to reach our $10,000 goal. Please donate. Every dollar you give saves animals, less suffering of animals. It's that simple. HumaneLA.org. HumaneLA.org. You don't have to worry about giving 10, 20, 50 bucks and thinking it's not a lot of money. It's not going to make a difference. They're going to use it for lunch or something. Wrong. 97 cents of every dollar goes to the animals. Cats and dogs, kittens and puppies, horses, emaciated horses. It's sickening. HumaneLA.org is the website. You'll see me at the top of the page laying on the sofa with Blue Boy. Click on that and donate there. HumaneLA.org is the website. Go to it right now and donate, please, and donate generously. Maybe 3 months before the Carrollton on-ramp to I-10 West and the airline highway exit of I-10 West are reopened. Carrollton at I-10 is a nightmare. Tulane Avenue at Carrollton, a nightmare right now. A nightmare. Now, a lot of folks are catching on, so they're going way around that area to access I-10. Might go into Metairie, might go towards, the CBD and get on there. And it's still crazy. I posted a video from like 11:15 this morning, and it was trafficy and crazy at 11:15. I mean, that's like anti-drive time. Like, it didn't even lunch yet. So the morning drive's over. People are at the office. Not a lot of movement, you could say, or a less amount. People haven't gone to lunch yet, and it's definitely not afternoon drive like right now. And it was crowded around Tulane and Carrollton. No, just not cool. And 3 months now is what they're saying is entirely unacceptable. Have a sense of urgency. This is I-10, the interstate, I-10 at Carrollton. It's mind-blowing, mind-boggling. Where are the feds on this? This is like NASA and Michoud jobs. This is where Steve Scalise, who is beloved, who, by the way, name the bill that Steve Scalise has authored that has become law. Name the bill that Steve Scalise has authored that has become law. All these years, all these decades in D.C., and I like Steve Scalise, there's not a single bill he's authored that has become law. Not one. Not a single one. So Steve Scalise, John Kennedy, Save the jobs, the NASA jobs at Michoud. We don't have enough white-collar engineering jobs. We have to keep those. Reopen the bridge on Highway 90 and build a new one going from Slidell, South Slidell into Pearlington, Mississippi. A key evacuation route, one of only 3 going east out of New Orleans. And yeah, have a sense of urgency. Get the feds involved. 3 months is entirely unacceptable for I-10 at Carrollton to be a you-know-what, a cluster you-know-what. Can't have this typical New Orleans BS. Can't have it. 766-9480. 766-9480. A buddy of mine, I just did, during the commercial break, did a little Venmo transaction. And right away, I see my buddy's transaction below it. And I snapped a photo and sent him a text. And I was just like, hey, blank. Venmo desperately wants to be a social media site. Desperately. Go to settings. The default mode is public. Everyone sees your transactions, not the dollar amount. The second mode allows only your friends to see your transactions. And I'm like, still crazy. The mode I chose is the third mode, private. So no one, you've never seen any of my name pop up on Venmo with a transaction. Yeah. Corey paid the lawn guy $60. No, never, right?
Nope.
When I got on Venmo, my sister, I think, called me like a week in and was like, I'm seeing your transaction. I'm like, what? And then I go to the settings and I saw the 3 different settings on Venmo. It's just mind-blowing that this PayPal sub-site Venmo, it's like, financial transaction website. You can pay people, receive money through Venmo. Everybody knows this. And I'm laughing now at myself just because there's a talk radio show host that she was doing it 20 years. The internet was viable for like 8 years or so now. Maybe not 10, but definitely more than 5. One day on the air, she's like, man, this internet thing is amazing. You can read newspapers from other cities. I almost wrecked the car and ran into a tree. I'm like, wow, next you're going to tell us about the telephone, Just mind-blowing. Anyway, the Venmo thing is crazy how they so desperately want to be a social media site. And people don't realize that, that these settings are like they are. The reason I brought up hey, man, the internet, you can read newspapers because I'm like explaining Venmo. That would be like, hey, 70-plus-year-old audience, there's a thing called Venmo. And they're going, dude, I got Venmo.
Yep.
Anyway, am I warm, you think, Mario? You're almost half my age.
No, I feel you 100%.
Isn't it like they're desperately trying to be a social media site or something?
I always thought that was really weird.
I mean, beyond weird.
Yeah, and it has like unintended consequences.
It's exactly. Hey, Mario, your wife just saw that you paid Chantel the hooker.
Exactly.
It's just crazy.
John just charged Bill $30 for products.
Right,
it's like,
exactly.
you know what the products are.
Bill is a crack dealer.
Yes.
No, it's unbelievable. It really is. It's outrageous. I have no idea why that is, except they desperately want to be a social media site.
That's funny you bring that up. I use Venmo and Cash App, but Cash App just made a rule to where when you do a transaction, you have to say what it's for. Before, you could just send people money and stuff, but now
Venmo, I put a initial. I might put lawn.
Yeah.
For a lawn guy.
An emoji.
But I might, for other people, just for whatever reason, like, man, I know what I'm paying, and I'm paying my tax. I don't give a crap with you. I might just put like a X.
Yeah.
Or yeah, you right, or whatever,
Yeah.
Anyway, why, yeah, you right. Why, not R,
Work harder, not smarter.
Well, let's not go into the Boston accent. The Yaddy accent.
That's supposed to be Sean Matt, but yeah.
Yeah, you're Latinx. You're Mario Brothers. How do you say the word S-U-R-E? How do you pronounce that?
Sure.
Is that how do you say it?
Sure.
One more time?
Sure.
You're pretty sure you say it that way?
Yeah, sure.
See, because you're Latinx, you're Mario Brothers. You're de-yatted.
Yes.
I say sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm pretty sure the boat's going to hit the shore.
You say Friday and Saturday?
Friday, Saturday.
Nah.
I don't know the house. When someone says we say house, like there's a W at the end. I don't know. I think house, I'm saying that right. Doesn't everyone say house?
Yeah, no, I didn't hear you say
house. That. I don't know, maybe house.
I know what you're talking about, but you don't do that.
Now, my brother, this is true yatdom right here, Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx. Doesn't get more yatty than this. Besides the barometer of how do you pronounce S-U-R-E, 99% of the country pronounces like you do, sure. I would think I'm from Minneapolis if I said sure. I've never said sure. Always sure. I'm pretty sure the boat's going to hit the shore. Same pronunciation of two different words. My brother John is named after my dad's brother, Uncle John. Okay? Uncle John, like God, we call him Uncle John, like J-A-W-N. His name's spelled J-O-H-N. But he's Uncle John, and he would never be Uncle John. That would be absurd. Yeah. That would be so like politically. Hi, it's Uncle John, by golly. Just he's Uncle John. Mm-hmm. Always Uncle John. My brother was never John. No one called my brother John. He is John, clearly. So my brother John is named after my Uncle John, and it's the same spelling and the same name, and Uncle John is Uncle John, and he would never be Uncle John, and my brother would never be John. Mm-hmm. So that's Yatism 101 right there.
It's a language, hell of it.
No, and I'm defused with my Yatism a little bit. Like Newman and Trinity, Jesuit a little bit, kind of knocked my Yatism down.
Yeah.
But I remember at LSU, the North Louisiana girls loved the Yatty accent. Kaboom! The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. Get Audubon Gutters.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Prepared with experience, depth, knowledge, and a history in the game. Corey Johnson.
Years later, a doctor will tell me that I have an IQ of 48.
I am the smartest man alive!
Wide Open Wednesday. Yeah, you right. St. Bernard Parish Councilman Ryan Randall joined us in the 4 o'clock hour last night at the Val Reese Sports Complex down in Parish, St. Bernard, where life is hot, hot, hot. St. Bernard residents allowed to give their input on the Louisiana International Terminal, a $2+ billion container terminal facility port that is of vital importance to the entire state of Louisiana. The Army Corps basically put the meeting together to get citizens, residents, parish residents in St. Bernard, their input on the terminal. And there wasn't a lot of positives. There weren't a lot of citizens in St. Bernard that were for it. Ryan Randall, the councilman, estimates like a 90-10 split, like 90% against it, maybe 10% for it. Now, I've said this before, like when, this hotel, the Elysian, and the Marigny Triangle folks are freaking out about it. And they've got signatures. Now, if I go and bang on someone's door, hey, Mario Brothers, Latinx, how you doing, man? Look, they want to build this crappy hotel. It's going to be an eyesore. It's going to, put a shadow over your building and trash, noise, people, going to have a bar, restaurant, blah, blah, all this negative, and then just make up stuff. The color scheme's terrible. They're not going to put any trees. Blah, blah, blah. We signed the petition that you're against it. I mean, it's kind of easy to, hey, Latinx, Mario Brothers. It's fantastic news, man. They're building a hotel down the street. We're going to be able to have a restaurant right there. It's going to increase our property value, use the pool if we want. It's really great news. Could you sign this petition that you're for? I mean, it's how this stuff's presented. That's why legitimate polls have to ask the question properly. You don't want to lead someone down a path that you're trying to get an answer out of them. That makes the poll not legitimate. That's why legitimate pollsters, they're very careful how they craft the question where it's fair and objective. It doesn't lure someone one way or another. So the last year plus since this port, potential Louisiana International Terminal has been announced, it's all been negative in St. Bernard. Sidney Torres III, the lawyer, the garbage guy's dad, a bunch of other bigwigs in St. Bernard that are squeaky wheels, political connections, businessmen connections, whatever. They're known in the parish. They're all against it. They just keep pounding that message, and they don't even know a lot of the facts. Ryan Randall mentioned, hey, there's a public school on the site. The port wants that site. They don't even own the entire site. Where they need the area where the school is. You can't just sell a school unless it's surplus. Like, that's so insurmountable. The port builds a new school right down the street. They cut the ribbon on it. The old school ends up being surplus. They can sell it. I mean, these are simple things. You know, they're easy to overcome. They're easy to overcome. No, but it's just been a negative campaign. So you get a positive campaign with squeaky wheels, political business leaders of Chalmette, St. Bernard that are telling people at Rocky and Carlos, no. You're getting bad information. This is huge. This is the best thing since Kaiser left. It isn't like that expansion of the refinery, which we all were for, which is, you know, polluting and cancer-causing agents and all that. And that's fine. We live around refineries. We're going to continue to expand them, I guess. But this is different. It's a couple of $2 billion and it's green. It's not a polluter. Doesn't make noise. Out of sight, out of mind. People in uptown New Orleans live in $1 million homes 200 yards from the Napoleon Container Terminal. Literally, multi-million-dollar homes, a few hundred yards. They're not complaining about trucks or noise or any of that because it doesn't exist. So no, a positive spin, the St. Bernard Parish residents getting fair and objective information from both sides, not just negative one side against it, but the pro side and facts and more knowledge and information. No, then they can, you know, make the right decision, the St. Bernard residents. It's probably going to be beyond the St. Bernard residents. You know, it's not like they have to approve it. You know, it's not eminent domain or something like that, but this is a major project. The Plaquemine model doesn't work. It's got to be south of the city. It's got to be somewhere in St. Bernard, coupled with access to the interstate for the trucks. So can't be down by Braithwaite or mouth of the river. So this is the spot. No, it's all been negative and don't do it. And St. Bernard residents are embracing that. That's the easy way. Learning about it, understanding it, having to really make a decision, benefits, you know, pros and cons. That's a little harder. So we'll see. Long way to go. Jeff Landry has anointed Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. to handle this, to run with this ball. He helped with the Super Bowl, getting the cities, you know what, together for Super Bowl 59. Now it's this project. And two things are good about that. Michael Hecht can get it done, hopefully. There's a chance. He's the right guy. And two, Jeff Landry is putting his support behind that port, not this Plaquemine port. And that's a good thing. It makes it clear the Plaquemine port is out, according to the governor. Hey, every day this program on radio, television, on YouTube, brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and Lamarck Crescent City Ford. We know about the Lamarck Automotive Complex, the big store in Lamarck Ford, over 45 years. Lamarck Lincoln, #1 in the state. But if you own a business and need a SUV, truck, van, commercial vehicle, that's when you head to Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood. Blue Boy knows. Blue Boy, where do you go? For a Ford Mustang or any Ford vehicle, the big store in Kennebra. You're right, Blue Boy. What else? Lamarck, Lincoln. The black label models are plush. You'd like to sleep in one tonight. Wow, buddy. But if you need a commercial vehicle, Lamarck Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway. Blue Boy, you're the best. What else? Remind folks to come back tomorrow, Thursday, 4 o'clock. Thanks, Blue Boy. HumaneLA.org. Donate.
Ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.